Good morning. Good morning. Whatever you want. All of my love. Good morning, boo. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Good morning. It's the Goddess Awakened show. I'm your host, Divine Moon Goddess. I do have a co-host. She's been MIA a couple days, but she will return soon, you guys. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Who's in the group that said Grand Rising? It says Facebook. I'm gonna blast some of you guys on here. Morning, morning. How is everybody doing? You at work? Nice. It's Wednesday. It's hump day, right? This is like the drag of the week for some people. Some people wake up today and it's just like, I can't deal with life today. Good morning. Like, what am I doing? Shwadi, I'm not doing readings in this exact moment. This is the morning show. I can do readings should I decide to, but it'll be donation based. And this is more of talking, conversation, knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, everything can't be all tarot fucking readings all day long, y'all. It just can't. It just can't. That's not life. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Ashley. Bored. Oh Lord. Girl, we gotta find you something to do. That's because you go to work at like 4 a.m. and shit. So I'm chilling. I'm a little chilly this morning, and I'm not normally cold, but for some reason my kids like to put this house at like 50 something degrees and shit. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't know. It's actually not cold where I live. I live in Florida. So it's actually nice and decent. But my kids like to freeze me. I know I can't do that. Like, if I was already up at 4, that'd be different. But like to go to bed and then have to wake up at 4 or something, yeah, probably not gonna. I would probably never make it to work. I remember in my 20s, I had picked up a paper route, a newspaper route. I have had many jobs in my life, you guys, many jobs. And I was a paper boy for some time. And oh my God, that getting up at 2 a.m. to be there at a certain time so that you could be there. You got to roll your own papers, bag your own papers, and then go, then deliver. That was like one of the hardest things to just get up. And then there was days where it was like holidays and I would drink and then I would like try to sober up, right? Like try to get some sleep and then like get up. I think I had to call off a couple days because it was like, there's no way I'm going to go deliver papers right now. Like real shit. That's like really, really early in the morning. So like, if you're just you're the natural person to get up at 4 something in the morning, great. But if not, it's kind of like pulling teeth, right? It's kind of like death. So I commend you guys who get up that fucking early and can stay up because I'm trying. I've made it to about 8-ish. I've only been up for an hour, right? So I'm trying to get to that point where I can be an early morning riser because I feel like when you get up earlier, you do get a lot of more shit done in your day. but I don't go to bed until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Because I'm constantly working, doing shit, finalizing shit, business owner type, blah, 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 right? And not even just on the business, and I'm constantly creating. And when you're constantly creating new things, inventing and shit, you're going to be up because every moment of your day is trying to fit a little piece of this, a little piece of that, a little piece of that. You know, a couple shows ago, we talked about business finances and wealth. And one of the things that I came to realize is that strive to have multiple streams of income. If you want to have a wealthy life anyway, I mean, you can have a wealthy life even with one stream of income. It's all about is how you see your health. It's your health and wealth, right? It's how you view it. So if you view it like you're poor because you got one job, then of course you'll be poor. Your wealth is kind of depends on what you see. But if you want to have a little bit more income kind of, streaming in, then you're going to want to have multiple avenues that are creating wealth for you. And so if you missed that finance and business morning show, definitely go back and check it out. Easiest place to go look probably is on the my YouTube channel, which is Divine Moon Goddess. So Nene Johnson is already doing scammer stuff, talking about inbox me. Why are you saying inbox me? We don't use those terms unless we're a scammer. So this past year in 2021, I've invested in stocks, long-term stocks, not short-term. I'm about to get into short-term trading just because it's an avenue of more income. And then not in my profession, I have multiple streams of income. I'm not just a tarot reader. So for those of you who just see me on lives, you never look at the website, you never see what else I do. Right. We don't use those inbox me words, girl or boy. I don't know which one you are. I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume your pronouns in this day and age, right? I don't know who the Facebook user in the tribe is. Good morning, love. Good evening from the Philippines. So just kind of look at that, like so I'm constantly creating, and so I'm up until 3 something in the morning, sometimes 4 a.m., and then back up at 8 a.m. And it is a struggle. It is a struggle. It is a struggle. And so woman, okay, just want to make sure. i don't want to I don't want to use any pronouns I ain't supposed to. I had a topic for today. And you guys don't be afraid to drop a comment on topics you guys want us to talk about. Somebody gave me a really good idea yesterday. They wanted to talk about relationships, divorce. I am woman, hear me roar. Um, and so I wanted to touch that because most of my work happens with people that are suffering in a relationship. We know tarot is really, really surrounded by love and relationship. People really don't use tarot for business, even though you should. It's a very great avenue to see if a business is going to come through for you, or a financial financial choice. You could see if it's going to bring you money or not, to see if it's a good oh, hey Queenie, to see if it's going to actually pan out for you, basically. But we know tarot is used more, psychics are used for their relationship problems, to look in deeper to the relationships, right? I know, I'm a night person. I am a night person, and it's hard trying to switch it to the morning. So I wanted to talk about that because one of the things that I always say, and I said yesterday on here, and I wanted to address it, is because when we go into a relationship, we tend to go into a relationship as a transaction, as a business transaction, right? We kind of treat it like a transaction. We treat it like an investment. I got dog hairs all on me, yo. We treat it like an investment. So when we're with someone, we're like, okay, even when we're talking, I've seen, even myself, I've done this. I'm guilty of this. I don't do it anymore because I've learned to check myself basically. Oh, the hairs ain't gonna get it today, my Aries. But one of the things that I've noticed is that what we do is even in the talking phase with someone, it's like someone's pissed off and mad because someone may be, playing the field, dating, weighing their options, and we will get pissed off and mad. Like, how could you? I've been talking to you for weeks now. How could you choose somebody else? I think we got to check our ego when it comes to dating and relationships. People will be in a relationship 15 years, right? Let's say somebody changes in that relationship and they've grown apart. The other person will try to force this person to stay some way, somehow, because for some reason the ego is not allowing them to say it's over, to say we're done. And then you'll hear like, I wasted 15 years with you, I wasted such and such years with you. And it's never really a waste. Most people have got beautiful children from the marriage or relationship. Most people have had pretty good lives, but for some reason when someone's going to leave you or someone's changed, it's like this, where's my investment? I was here 15 years, where's my investment now? Where's my money back? Where's my time back? And so I think we have to change the way that we see relationships. Relationships don't have to suck, Pearl. Relationships don't have to be shitty, but we don't have to treat them like an investment. Like most of the time, I hear people talking about marriage. For some reason, in people's head, if we get married, if I have a certificate, we're locked in. You don't think that's a contract? Some type of subconscious contract that you're trying to lock this person in? Not to say not to get married, and not to say that marriage isn't beautiful, because I do think marriage is beautiful. But when we're trying to force it, we're trying to get there because we think it's going to change something. This marriage certificate or this marriage is going to lock it in. People change all the time. So the certificate is not going to do shit. But for some reason, we choose to look at relationships as a transaction, as an investment, as if you're going to get something in return. Right, right, right. Morning. And I think, and I'm not saying everybody does it, Queenie, but most people, most people that struggle, especially in this tarot world, the most people that I work with, this is part of the problem. We expect something from love. We expect something from love. We're not looking at love in the lens of the creator's energy or God, Allah, whoever it is that you pray to or believe in. We're not looking at it from their eyes. We're not looking at it from the higher perspective. When anytime you go into any type of relationship with expectations of return, you're no longer doing it for love. Exactly. I think that's a lesson. When you think because your life didn't pan out the way you did, oh, I wasted my time. So if you go to like So if you go to a job, same thing. I'm telling you, people will treat a relationship like a job. A job, you'll be there 15 years, they fire you. Oh, I fucking wasted 15 years of my life with this job. But did you? You chose to be there. Pretty sure at some point your gut was telling you maybe it's time to go. Didn't think about it. Just were comfortable, right? So we do this. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing we do is set in stone. No relationship is set in stone. Because somebody loves you today, you're not guaranteed that this person will wake up loving you 10 years from now. People change and grow. You have to allow people to change and grow. Same thing, we would want someone to accept us as we change and grow. You got to do the same for other people. Stop treating people as possessions. You don't own anybody. You don't own them. Them slave days was over. Okay. And so this is something to really think about. When you're treating someone as a possession, what are you doing? This gets deeper into the root, because it's no longer a relationship. You're no longer valuing this person as a person. Now they're a possession. Now they're an investment. You own a piece of them. So then when someone leaves, most of the time people want to fuck up some shit. Oh, you're going to give me my time or money back some way, somehow. And I think that's the wrong way to approach it. Our ego is the part that gets hurt when someone leaves us. Our ego is the one that gets hurt when they leave for someone else. Our ego gets hurt when they leave and do better with someone else. That's not your higher self, and that's not spirit. That is you, your ego, your issue, your problem. Um, some people are going to grow apart. You know, we talk about alignment. We talk about being vibrationally matched with people. So when people change that vibration in a relationship, you're not going to stay together most likely, because something has to give. If you're not on the same vibration, how the fuck do you stay together? You're not going to think the same anymore. Your wants and needs aren't going to be the same anymore. Your goals aren't going to be the same anymore. How do you stay with someone and your goals ain't the same? What, because you've been there 10 years? You're comfortable with this person? And then we will shame men for leaving because, oh, they're shitty as fuck to leave their family. But why would you want to make someone stay in a relationship that's not happy? I don't give a shit if they're the male or the female. Same thing we tell women, if you're not happy, leave. Why would we down the men? Oh, you have to stay because, that's your family, that's your kids. I think if we were able to release and let go, we could have the two-parent home instead of the father missing, mother missing. If we took that step back to just say, damn, what's more important? My selfishness, my ego, my perception in society of who's going to say what, or the need to allow us both to be happy in life and co-parent, right? True shit, Natalie. I'm 40. I'm about to be 42, boo, and I have not been married yet. So, and there's many reasons why. But, I not only I saw my parents with their very destructive, toxic asses, right? But I watched other people around me run off to the courthouse to get married. And I watched their relationships be so shitty as fuck, people cheating, back and forth arguing, tearing up shit, fucking up shit. And I would just look like, if that's what marriage is, not just, that was a wrong perception of marriage though, right? But it was like, if that's what this shit, I don't want it. I don't want it. I would see people fight for these relationships that it was just like, let this shit go. I've seen very close people to me have, fighting other chicks and shit over people. I ain't fighting nobody over no one. Even when I was younger, I wasn't fighting over nobody. I'll be damned if I ever fight over a man in this life. Not gonna happen. You cheat on me, you can have him. Period. I don't want shit. Ain't gonna come for you. I ain't about to fight you. But see, this is the point of where, hey, Katrina, good morning. This is the point where we have to stop treating people like possessions. They're not yours. You don't own them. Okay. And that's one of the biggest points I want to make this morning is that when we start to retrain our thought process, you'll realize that you have been treating people like possessions for a long time. Be like, damn. Exactly. But you know what, Danielle? Some people, even when their person passes away, they struggle to move forward in their life. And they could find someone beautiful that could come into their life and want to love them, but they'll struggle to love again because they feel so guilty. And it's like, I work with a lot of people with grief. It's not just relationships in that way, it's grief too. I damn sure I need to be a grief counselor, I feel. But I think that's just a part of my job, a natural part of my job. But I've seen a lot of people who struggle to move on because they're so guilty, right? And I have to tell them, like, your person would never want you to sit here and be miserable and alone. They wouldn't. You know, even when we're the most jealous in life, there is a little bit of elevation when you get to the spirit world. I've seen it, I've felt it. So your person would never want you to sit here and be unhappy for the rest of your fucking life. Yeah, maybe you'll never have the connection you had with that person because it was very strong, it was magical. But to put yourself in this box that you could never love again, that you'll never be happy with anybody else again, you just set yourself up for this very depressive like experience, right? Yeah, I see it a lot, and I do hear it a lot, especially when people are going through divorce. And they, unfortunately, a lot of men. I have seen a lot of men stay in situations that they're not happy in because they're afraid of what the woman's going to do if they try to leave. And I think it's sad on our part as women. We have to do better to where we're not always going for the guy or using the children. Not to say me, I've never been that woman who has used my daughter in anything. My daughter's father was always free to contact her, come see her whenever he wanted, despite what I felt about him, because it wasn't about their relationship. I didn't want to talk to him. So I think sometimes a lot of women get very possessive. Now, I'm not saying men don't get possessive because there's a lot of men who are possessive, but unfortunately, I've seen a lot more women destructive in my path than men. I've seen a lot more men have to stick around and deal with the craziness of a woman because of the consequences if he decides to leave. And I feel like it's something we got to talk about. It's something that we need to bring awareness, because we could sit here and we can advocate for women all day long, and I'm behind you. But let's not take away the fact that there's a lot of women that will fuck up some shit real quick, and it's okay. We don't even bat an eye. It's like, okay, yeah, she had a right, but did she? But did she? I don't think marriage has to be that depressive. Natalie, I don't think you got to wear black at your wedding because it's like, death and shit. I think if you perceive marriage as death, don't get married. I feel like marriage, one, you don't need a certificate for marriage. Okay. Marriage, the certificate part of marriage, I feel like is a binding contract. Me personally, I don't feel like I will ever need that to solidify a relationship. That's just how I feel. I feel like if me and someone are in love and we truly get each other, we will never need a piece of paper to define it. That's just my perception, not judging anybody else who needs it. That's just me. I feel like when you spiritually connect with someone, that paper doesn't mean shit anyway. It doesn't mean anything. But I think if you're viewing marriage where you need to wear black like your mourning, don't get married. Just don't get married at all. But I do feel like even when you guys are talking with your friends and people you have people like this that are very controlling and crazy. And I think this is the conversations that we need to kind of have with people like, no, wait, you know, because you can't treat people like obsessions and possessions. They're not. It is. Anyone who's really pushing for that marriage certificate, you guys, in my eyes, unfortunately, I feel like it is just to bind someone to them, to bind them. And then you are legally, it's a contract. Legally, it's a contract. And it's crazy because I actually have a really good friend of mine she's been separated for years. Unfortunately, she hasn't got a divorce yet because she was threatened with alimony if she divorces. And it's sad because if you decide to own something, buy something, this person at any time can start claiming all this other crazy shit, and you live in fear of what this person can take from you. And unfortunately, a lot of men live in fear of what, the woman is going to take. And so we as women wonder why less men want to get married. You guys got to understand. In the days, men used to jump on it. Marry you, got you. Now it's changed because men are like, no, fuck that. You're going to take everything I fucking own just because you're pissed off and mad because if I decide that I want to leave, right? And we can't be mad if somebody doesn't love us anymore. We can't get mad that maybe someone woke up like you're not the one. Is it a blow to your ego? Fuck yeah. To wake up and be like, damn, I'm not the one anymore. Damn. All right, I'm gonna need some time to recoup from this shit, right? But we gotta do better. We gotta be able to put our big girl and big boy panties on, right? Or underwear, tidy whities. I don't know, whichever one. Right. I feel like sometimes we have to take that step back, right? Take that step back. I always ask my clients, why do you want to get married? And really have them think about the whys behind that. Like, why do you really want to get married? Most women have been dreaming about this fucking marriage since they were like 5 and shit, right? We had this fucking fantasy vision of what marriage is, fantasy vision of walking down the aisle with the one, our soulmate. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be legally married. I just don't think it's for me, and I don't believe in it. It's not something that I believe in. It's not something that would make or break my relationship. And it's crazy because I learned that when I was with my daughter's father. We were engaged for fucking years, probably damn near a decade, right? And I just remember that it seemed like I was always trying to force us to get to there, because then it was, but it was a selfish need behind it, because if we got married, then I'd say I won. All those fucking people who try to break us up, I won, right? But we ended up splitting and parting ways anyway. So even if we had got married, it would all went down the tube anyway. So my reasons for getting married were not because, oh, loving and caring and just want to be with this person. They were just like this egotistical shit, behind it. Prenup. She's like, prenup, please. I believe, look, I believe walking into a marriage, I believe you should leave with what you came with, right? Now, if you guys came together and built something together, then equally split it. Don't be like, oh, I did this and now I take 100% of the fucking business. Get the fuck off your high horse. If you both put time and effort into something, split it. Why do you got to be so shitty? Oh, because he's or she's going to use that money with the new person. And so Spirit is like, go sit your ass down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere. You're being shitty. Think about it. You never want to, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted kids. I wanted a huge family. I didn't have a bunch of kids though. I had everybody else's kids. It worked out crazy. Right. And I think you should have that option, Daxton. I feel like you should have that option, because you may meet someone and they seem fantastic, right? They seem like maybe they're everything that you want. And then over time, maybe things change for you. Maybe you get on this other vibration, and maybe they're not going with you, and then you're like, damn, I don't like this person anymore, or I don't want to spend the rest of my life with this person. Well, we can't be mad. Like, that person can't be like, oh, well, fuck you then, because you don't want me anymore. And I've seen it all too much. Of we get, like I said, it's all ego. When someone doesn't want you, your ego's bruised. Um, so if we get more into talking about this and coaxing people to let go, just to really let go, right? To not give someone a hard time because they want to leave you. And a lot of times people do cheat because they're not happy in some way. Now, I'm not saying it's your fault that someone's cheating on you, because I'll never say that, okay? But what I've seen with the people and their partners of cheating, it's the person's missing something. And it's normally they're missing something that they sometimes don't even know what the fuck it is. So then they go cheating, right? Instead of just leave. But a lot of people are so scared. I'm telling you, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of guys. And unfortunately, even like, watching my brother or watching people that I know, and these men stay in these situations because they're so afraid what's going to happen if they leave. They're so afraid of what everyone's going to say if they left, because men are always the bad guys at the end of it. Now, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time, the man is going to be deemed the bad one. You left your family. Even if the girl was shitty, even if she didn't cook, even if she didn't, give him, love, McLovin like he wanted it, right? Even if she was toxic as fuck, even if she used to be breaking up shit, the family will be like, you left your family, you know? It's not okay. I think that's something that we kind of have to look at, right? Oh yeah, I think a lot of people marry for financial reasons. Um, I think, and that's the thing of it. You got to look at it. Marriage is a contract. I don't care what anybody says. It's a binding contract. It's definitely financial and otherwise. And I think if you take the push from that away, then you can have this relationship. But when you start pressuring the marriage and the ring and the this and the that, you got to ask yourself the whys, right? I think more and more people don't want to get married because of those reasons, and I don't blame them. Like I said, I've never been married. I'm about to be 42. Never been married. And I don't blame them. I think marriage is a huge step in your life. And I think when it comes to marriage, you should make sure that this is really someone you want to be with, that you really want to put your time and effort in, that you really see growth with this person, and that you guys really vibe on a friendship level. I think a lot of people want to rush to the marriage. Like we would just want to get to the end game. The end game is marriage, right? And we don't sit and think about the journey with this person. How's it going to be? How's our journey going to be together? Do we even fucking like each other? Most people you see can't stand each other. And it's just like, why are you two together? You don't even like each other. Hmm. And that's the thing. 22 years with someone, Pearl, and not to say you're a bad person, and I don't want you to feel like that at all, but 22 years, people change, right? People change after 22 years. But sometimes it's like that fear. Well, what happens if I leave? Yada yada yada, right? And I think that's the beauty of dating, is that we should be able to love fearless, love wholeheartedly. This is why people get afraid to give their hearts. It's like, oh my God, this person's going to leave me if I give my heart space. We do readings constantly, right? Constantly, we do readings. And what is always coming out? Your heart space is closed. Your heart space is closed. Your heart space is closed. We're so afraid to love because this person's going to leave us. We're so afraid of that. We're so afraid of the failure behind it. But it's not a failure. Why can't you love someone today with or without the attachment of this person being in your life forever? You got to ask yourself those questions, right? Right, right. Hey, Jody. Right. Chanel's like, don't lock me into anything. Right, right, right. I feel like we do have to look at things a little bit deeper before we just jump into this, okay, marriage, this person we're going to create all these kids with, in life with, share finances with, right? Um, People will grow apart. People will not be the same person you met 10 years ago. And if they are, that might be a bigger problem. We have to be able to go through the evolution, right? The evolution process of our life. And if someone is not growing, most likely you will fall apart. Most likely you will grow apart, especially if you're not on the same page. So it's just allowing that, and it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, whatever the connection is, it's still the same at the end of the day. Don't look at someone as a possession that you own them. You don't. If someone's in your life for a short period of time, okay. But what happens is most people like, oh, they can't keep a man, they can't keep a woman. And so your ego gets bruised instead of just allowing yourself to experience relationships. They're going to come and go. The one of the worst things we could do is try to force somebody to be with us because they liked us at one time. It's like, so Unity J is doing some scammer stuff on here. So we're just going to block that user. She's like, I didn't sign up for the country music. No, I can't deal with you. Yeah, I think a lot of people fear the love. And let me tell you, love is never the problem. Okay. Hey, Brenda's rocking her top fan badge. Love is never the problem. It's not love that fucks you up. It's your poor ass boundaries that fuck you up. That's what gets you into trouble because it's not love. It's not your heart space. It's your poor boundaries. It's the inability to see that someone isn't that into you. It's the inability to see that you and this person don't fucking click, right? It's the inability to be honest with yourself in a situation and say, maybe this person isn't the right one for me. But too many people are trying to force stuff, right? I'm going to marry this person. I'm going to show my family. I'm going to show everybody else that I got them. The fuck? You know how many millions of people are out here in this world? You can find someone that's going to be on a level with you. And if it changes, it changes. That's the part I want us to work on, the part of allowing things to just go, right? Yeah, see? So and it's like, and then people will tell you, especially when you're married, right? Well, you signed up for it. You said in sickness and in health, and people will say alcoholism is a sickness. And let me tell you, I don't agree. My personal opinion, right? I ain't gonna fight nobody on this, but my personal opinion, is I don't think you ever, I don't care what you signed up for, I don't think you ever have to put up with someone's drinking problem, drug problem, their trauma in a way where they hurt other people. Okay. I think at some point you got to sit and say, no, I didn't sign up for this suffering. I didn't sign up for this shit. And you got to choose you first. I think that a lot of people will, this is where the people around you will put it in your face and make you feel bad. But it's like, no, I may have signed up to be by your side and love you, but I damn sure didn't say you're going to drag me through the fucking mud every day. No. Oh yeah, I definitely believe people come to teach us lessons. I'm on that one. You know what, Daxton, one of the things about everything that's global, I unplug from the global shit, right? I know people are like, oh my God, it's crazy today, and look at everything that's going on. But if you guys take a second to look at history, there's always something going on. There's always some crazy war, shit, tyranny, blah, 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 blah. We can keep going down the fucking line. You will always make the decision, do you want to spend your life in it? Or do you create your life over here, right? I just choose not to entertain it and not to rack my brain. It's just my personal, where I'm at, because a lot of this shit we have no control over, right? Not enough people give a shit to make change, right? Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist country, world, should I say, not even a country, capitalist world. Every country is thriving in this way. So unfortunately, that's how they thrive the market, this the shit that goes on. So that's kind of where we're at in our world. And until more people decide to change it, more people decide to step up, more people decide to say that let's really tackle global issues, there will always be a global issue. From the beginning of time, there's always been some major fucking issue. I just, for me personally, I just don't entertain it, don't get into it. I ain't sitting here fighting people about politics and all this shit, because every one of them that get in office don't do real shit to me. But I'm like, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever the fuck. I love you all. I don't care. I think you just got to kind of look at it for what it is sometimes. I don't watch the news. It's pre-programmed. It's bought and paid. There's an agenda behind every news station. I don't give a shit how true they claim to be. If it was that true, we'd have more positive stories. If you really reach out there in the world of news, right, you're going to see all these beautiful stories that are not being posted. You're going to see all these beautiful stories that are not being talked about. You're going to see there's so much good happening in the world, but the news goes straight to all the negative shit that's going on. Why is that? Why is the news so focused on the negative? you know it is, it's a profit, it's owned, it's corporation. Okay, you got to remember that. So before we're letting that shit get to us and kind of like take us out, remember there's an agenda behind it. There's so much beautiful shit going on in this world. We just have to detach from the masses, right? That matrix type shit. Get out there and see the beauty that's out there. See what's really being done. There's some magic happening in this fucking world. We're just not seeing it because we're tuned into what they want us to know, right? What they want us to see, what they want us to harbor. Those emotions, the anxiety, the fear, that keeps you in a low vibration. You can't be high vibrational and you're fearful and anxious every day. It doesn't work like that. You've now taken yourself back down to the lower 3D reality, right? Yes, we're all here in physical body. Yes, we're all living this experience, but you don't have to live your days every day with the that shit weighing on your shoulders, the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? Wow, Pearl. And see, that's a prime example, Pearl, of let's go back to relationships real quick. But so that's a prime example where you decide you want to change. So you're in a relationship, you make a huge change, like, I met you, I was smoking cigarettes, but now I want to change my life and get healthy. I want to smoke. I don't want to smoke anymore. And then you got your person who doesn't respect that. Then they start saying stuff or whatever to you, making you feel a certain type of way. Well, you met me like this. And it's like, okay, I met you like this, but I don't fucking want to be this anymore. So I don't have a choice in this just because I met you in this way. And that's what I'm talking about. People will use that like, what? Are you fucking crazy? Same thing like with drinking or any type of things, even like dieting, exercise. Let's say you meet someone and then all of a sudden you want to get into fit and health and all this. And the other person's like, what are you working out for? Oh, who you trying to be cute for? How about my fucking self? How about I'm trying to look good for me? How about I'm trying to get this belly fat off for me? And you will have the other person, their ego, right? Because if you get better, if you do this, you may leave them. Now, remember, that has nothing to do with you. So I think when it comes to relationships, we have to view it, allow people to leave and not look at someone as a transaction or an investment. Because chances are in every relationship, you're not going to get shit back. Maybe some kids, maybe some good times, but look at it as that. Don't look at it as, okay, I'm going to invest this time. And I don't think people truly look at it like, okay, I'm going to invest my time and I'm going to get this back. But at the end of it, if it doesn't work out, it's like, oh, I wasted my time. You had an expectation that this was going to last forever. Go in with the expectation that I don't know when this shit is going to last. That will make you appreciate your days with someone a whole lot more without the expectation that you just know you got 80 years with someone.